Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
The attack on Pearl Harbor was a surprise military strike by the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service against the United States Naval Base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii Territory on the morning of December 7th, 1941. The attack, also known as the Battle of Pearl Harbor, led to the United States entry into World War II. The attack commenced at 7:48 a.m. Hawaiian time. The base was attacked by 353 Imperial Japanese aircraft, including fighters, level and dive bombers, and torpedo bombers. In 2 waves, it launched from 6 aircraft carriers. All 8 United States Navy battleships were damaged, with 4 sunk. All but the USS Arizona were later raised, and 6 were returned to service and went on to fight in the war. The Japanese also sank or damaged 3 cruisers, 3 destroyers, an anti-aircraft training ship, and 1 mine layer. 188 United States aircraft were destroyed. 2,403 Americans were killed, and 1,178 were wounded. The surprise attack came as a profound shock to the American people and led directly to the American entry into World War II in both the Pacific and European theaters. The following day, December 8th, the United States declared war on Japan. And several days later, on December 11th, Germany and Italy declared war on the United States. The U.S. responded with a declaration of war against Germany and Italy. Domestic support for non-intervention, which had been fading since the fall of France in 1940, disappeared. Led by President Franklin D. Roosevelt to proclaim December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. Thank you very much, Kate Smith, and of course, God bless America, and I certainly hope he will again. This is Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations reminding you better get ready for wintertime driving. And also our friends at Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thank you, and I appreciate it. God bless and Merry Christmas this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice lady. Thank you. Right now we're going to go to the weather forecast, and the weather brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 West of Hebron. Hello, Roger and the crew on the Burley-Paul Highway. Number to call, 678-3122. You know, they've got all the tools and equipment that you need to finish your projects. And the other thing is maybe you're a little bit, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I need. Well, go on in there and tell them what you're doing. They can help you. They've got everything and the experience necessary to help you get just the right tools and equipment. K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn, 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather forecast.
You know, I'm seriously beginning to wonder if we're ever going to see some snow so we can have a white Christmas. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch this morning. Patchy morning fog before noon. If you're out there, you might want to make sure you have your window scraper because your windows are going to be a little bit frosty. Other than that, sunny skies, high of 35 for today. Tonight, patchy fog after midnight. Otherwise, mostly clear with a low of 18 tomorrow. Patchy fog before noon, sunny skies after that, high of 38. Looks like mostly clear skies for Friday night with a low of 15. Saturday, mostly sunny, high near 40. Same for Sunday. Monday, sunny and 41, and maybe mid-40s for Tuesday. Never know. The weather could change, but that is your weather for us up at the ranch.
Gina, thank you very much. Brought to everybody by K&R Rental. Oh, these are good people. They've got everything over there. They've got tools and equipment for both long and short-term rentals. You get a hold of them today, 678-3122. K&R Rental on the Burley-Paul Highway, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Right now, let's sell some cattle. Merv May, come on in here.
All right, a good set of steer calves there, here to get $31.
That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, in my opinion, Merv May, along with Kay Droggy and Lance Hudi at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, the sale that works for you. At 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, number to call for cattle consignment and sale information, 678-9411. 10 o'clock starting time this morning, sale day at Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Here's just a partial list of some of the cattle going through. Cody Beck over to Burley, yes sir, bringing in 66 head of butcher cows and 260 head of 5 to 650 pound ripping good calves. Brian Inskeep up at Aberdeen. How's everybody up at Aberdeen? 37 head of butcher cows coming in. Tim Munns and neighbors at Garland, Tremont, and Howell area bringing in 100 head of mixed calves. Tom Peck up at Cary. Boy, it gets chilly up there. Good folks. 80 head of steer calves weighing 5 to 600 pounds, and more good Tremont cattle coming in. 75 head of mixed yearlings weighing 5 to 6.5, and don't forget they're going to have that big stock cow sale at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard next Monday at high noon. Big stock cow sale. 10 a.m. starting time for the sale today at the Burley Livestock, and here is Merv to sell some steers.
All right, a good set of steer calves there, here to get $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I am selling $35. Zeb Bell, get bottom again.
I don't mind that price at all. I've never, ever been so good and so smart to get them in there at that time, I'll tell you what. We got a lot of things to cover this morning on this Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, and one of the things I want to remind you about is next Thursday, a very important day. We are going to be live and direct from Denny's Restaurant at, of course, 611 North Overland in Burley for our annual Christmas party. And we're going to be having door prizes. Santa Claus is going to be there. We're going to have a choir singing Christmas carols, thanks to the great help by Debbie Critchfield. Thank you so much. And register for a beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner from Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. You can do that right now. You can do it right now, and all you do is take your receipt up to the cashier's desk and sign it, put your phone number on there, and drop it in the box. You might be a lucky winner. Oh, my. Our thanks to Jeff and the crew at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More for that great-looking recliner. Really comfy. Going to give it away next week at Denny's Restaurant in Burley on the 14th for our annual Christmas party. You'd better be there. 611 North Overland in Burley. By the by, our thanks go out to Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You know what? I had on my thermometer here just a minute ago. I'll check it again. I had 18. Now, that's the kind of a temperature that when you throw back the covers and step out on the floor, I hope your furnace is working. Well, I'll tell you what, they're always there to serve you for all your heating and electrical needs. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, 678-0459. You stop in and see them today. Okay, now, we have got a lot of subjects to talk about this morning, and one of the things that we're going to be doing next week, and I talked to Senator Kelly Anthon yesterday, is we're going to be doing a segment next week. I haven't determined the time. I'm shooting for hopefully on Tuesday, if Kelly's schedule will abide by that. And we're going to be talking about something that I have mentioned on this program for over the last 2 years. And I'm not patting myself on the back. It's just something that I believe needs to be done, and I advocated it for a long time. And I said drug testing should be made appropriate and demanded for those that are on welfare and taking our money, our taxpayer dollars, and using food stamps, etc. There should be drug testing. There's a lot of abuse in the program. And those that are abusing the welfare money, our tax dollars, then they should be cut off. And those that can get a job and are able-bodied and just milking the system should be cut off and forced to go to work. You don't work, you don't eat. Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin, is implementing this program. Oh, the left is crying and screaming and tearing out their hair and on their knees wailing, oh, you can't do that to these people. That's terrible. It's unconstitutional. Well, you can't take away their benefits. Wait a minute. If you've got leeches in a system that are abusing and using the system for their personal gain because they're too doggone lazy to get a job and support themselves, yep, cut them off. And I certainly hope that this concept that is being implemented in the state of Wisconsin will catch on and go across the board. Your thoughts, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. The Bleeding Heart Liberals, all they want is a hand in your pocket. Don't forget Pomerell Place, a place for senior living, 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. You know, I urge you, really, right now, while it's fresh in your memory, to run to the telephone and call the number 677-8212, 677-8212. They really, really take care of their seniors, and it offers the ability for seniors to live there and maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. Two key words right there, safely and comfortably at a Pomerell Place. Please call and find out more information today. It's a beautiful place with very nice people. A Pomerell Place, a place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley, 677-8212. Really good folks. I mentioned a moment ago, and I'm going to mention again, I want some phone calls this morning about that big stock cow sale at Burley. Don't confuse it. There is a sale today at Burley, the regular sale, and then Monday on 11th of December, there's going to be a special stock cow sale. Yep. And it's going to start at high noon. Don't forget that. Burley Livestock Commission Company, I'm telling you what, it's going to start at high noon. They got lots and lots of good young cows, middle-aged cows, cows of all ages, so don't miss that. And if you've got cows to consign, get a hold of them today. Great big stock cow sale coming up on Monday, also at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Really good, folks. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, a lot of you hear these stories, and I wonder how you react to these. I mean, do you sit there and shake your head and go, the idiocy in this country, the absolute idiocy around the world is gaining momentum and notoriety, and unfortunately, acceptance. Now our neighbor to the west, the state of Washington, wants to join in with their neighbor to the south, Oregon and California, and they want to make it a law that there will be 3 genders available to mark on a birth certificate. Now, for those of you that are just getting out of bed and you go, whoa, stop the bus a minute, turn off the key, 3 genders, what happened while I was asleep? Well, it's true. Today, we are living in such an insane world with absolute incompetence and any sense of realism. The state of Washington wants to have 3 boxes on birth certificates that parents can fill in. They can go male, they can go female, or they can put an X in the empty box that's number 3. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's no wonder why we are looking at the world today as being so deranged and so mentally unstable. And when I talk about that, I mean, I don't know how many of you saw this last night, but there was a psychotic nut on television last evening. And this guy, he is a Caucasian white male that has now decided to identify as a Filipino female. My grandma used to sit there when she heard stories like this and go, ay, 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 ay. And she was right. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Let me pay some bills so I can give more time to you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Number to call, make an appointment to help or have them help you get back to being you, 678-1191. Watch out for the ice. Watch out for the snow that I know is coming. If you slip and fall, hurt yourself, they can help with all their physical therapists that are there. Excellent people. All the exercises and that hydrotherapy pool, the only one of its kind around, at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. They are good. They help me. 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, 678-1191. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning. You know, they ought to just draw a line down to the border of Washington, Oregon, and California, and just let them be their own little island out there, full of the opposite sex or whatever they want to do. Just leave them alone.
You know, Keith, you are of the age, and I am of the age, where there was a respect for what the good Lord gave us and what the good Lord made us. And today, these weirdos, and that's what they are. I do not respect anything they're doing, nor will I ever come out on the radio with any respect for what they're doing. They are turning everything upside down, and it's almost like slapping God in the face by coming up with all these different genders and all these different, well, I'm going to relate to being a female now, or I'm going to relate to being Filipino, or I'm going to relate to be a Ukrainian or whatever. This is insane, and it's silly.
Yeah, and to maybe change the subject a little bit, I am so proud of President Trump, who kept his campaign promise. You know, most of these guys that run for president, they just throw it at the wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah.
But they don't follow through. But this deal of making the capital in Jerusalem for Israel is just a reality. It's their state or their country, and they should have the capital wherever they want it.
That's right? Exactly right. You know,
here we got these people wanting to dedicate a day of destruction. They were just waiting for that. That was going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, I tell you, Keith, it's absolute insanity for the left to come out and slap Donald Trump and say, how dare you do this? But it was promised by President Bush. He didn't do it. He didn't follow through. It was promised by President Obama. He didn't do it. He didn't follow through. And Trump steps up to the plate, swings the bat, hits a home run, and follows through. And now all the left is hating him for it.
Yeah. And at 9:45 today, our time, Franken is going to finally do something. I don't know what it's going to be. maybe he'll stick his head in the well or something. I don't know.
That would be an encouraging situation. I got to run and do some bills. Keith, thank you so much.
You bet.
All right. A little bit of feedback there, Wheels, so kind of watch that a little bit if you would. Al Franken is, as if you really care. Do you really care about Al Franken? That is one of the most detested, not liked people in Congress. They don't like him. I know a lot of people back there that have told me stories about him and his attitude, the way he treats people, the way he treats people that come into his office, the way he treats people out on the streets, the way he treats the media. He is not really well thought of at all. And it's not going to be anything like, oh, cry a tear for Al. No, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be jumping up and down, waving pom-poms when this guy leaves office. I hope he does say, well, I think I'm going to leave office now because of some of these allegations. Well, allegations, this is so ridiculous. It's more than allegations. They've got visual proof with photographs and everything else. This guy should have been thrown out days ago. Okay. Now, I want to remind you, too, about our good friends. I'm later on this morning going to have Jamie from Dino Septic Service on our program. Fast, fair, friendly service. Dino Septic Service doing a job that you don't want to do. And I don't either. No way. I mean, septic tanks pumped, and septic tanks and drain fields installed, and sewer and sink drain lines cleaned, liquid waste removal. See, you don't want to do it either, but these people are really good at it. And they've got a Rupert number, 436-6526, and a Burley number, 678-1638. Fast, fair, friendly service with that big truck that says, smells cargo on the way. Dino Septic Service, they're the best at what they do. Want to also remind you about Keelix. Now, I've been telling you about Keelix for your livestock for, the last week, 2 weeks, I think? Well, Keelix supplements, a very important supplement of vitamins and minerals for your livestock. And the gentleman that's the representative for this area, his name is Scott Mitten, and his number is 435-230-1175. Call him, and he can help provide your cattle what they need to maintain and stay healthy during the winter months. Keelix helps fight disease, helps maintain proper function of reproduction system, digestive systems, and the nervous systems for beef cattle, dairy cattle, horses, sheep, and goats. I'm telling you, they've got the different formulas to help your livestock. Keelix supplements. Call Scott, 435-230-1175. All right, call me. Right on cue. Wheels, that was excellent. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Zeb. How are you?
I'm peachy.
That's good. That's about where I'm at. I'm about half peachy right now. I'm just waking up. Now, I heard something, and according to the Franken deal going on, that he's going to hold his news conference at about 9:45, so you might want to have your ears peeled.
Yep.
Or have, find out everything, because I guess he's got the press conference for 9:45 to say what he's going to do.
Yeah, Al Franken, that's what the other caller had said also. Al Franken, I hope he doesn't fight this. I hope he just looks at the camera and he's not on camera for more than 30 seconds and basically says, I'm out of here. And I doubt if he's going to apologize. I really don't think that man has it in him to apologize. I think he's just going to say, I'm leaving, and adios, and don't let the door hit me in the back. I honestly hope this guy makes it short and sweet and is gone.
Well, everything I've ever heard about him and everything is just like you said, that he's arrogant, absolute airhead, just, doesn't really care for those around him or what have you. He's pretty self-centered from what I've gathered.
Yeah, and his comedic routine, he was a comedian for years, and then he turned his comedy routine into being in the Senate. I thought, oh my goodness, we've really hit low bottom now. But his comedic routine was one of cutting down and really dirty humor, and his whole life has been centered around the toilet bowl, if you get my drift. And I am I absolutely feel no remorse whatsoever for him having to leave. As a matter of fact, I'd like to be the one to open the door and say, adios, amigo, don't come back ever.
Well, I'd like to be one of those to push him out the door with my boot.
Okay. Well, listen, get your Tony Lamas all polished up. Thank you for your call.
You betcha, buddy.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Nice man right there. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let me see what else have I got working on here. Oh, let's see. I talked to you about that It last night that was on television, a Caucasian white male that now identifies as being a Filipino female. Oh, brother. And then we had another psychotic nut on the program last night that is advocating a one-world government. Everybody's going to hold hands like an old Coca-Cola commercial, and we're going to sing Kumbaya, and we're just going to love life. Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. Hey, thank you very much to Vicky's Country Garden. Hello, Miss Vicky. How are you? At 185 South 600 West of Paul. I'm going to give you Vicky's cell phone number. She wants me to because you can call her and get gift certificates for Christmas. Great stocking stuffers from Vicky's Country Garden. 431-5667. 431-5667, and Merry Christmas. And also, thank you, Streamline Precision. And Tim and the rest of the crew say, go up to somebody that's in uniform, shake their hand, and simply say, thank you. The men and women that put their lives on the line for us here in America to make America the best place. Thank you so much from Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And Magic Valley Irrigation at 44 East, 500 South of Burley. Jeff and the crew, oh, these are good folks. I'm telling you what, all the good folks and all the products right there at Magic Valley Irrigation to help you farm and do a great job. Magic Valley Irrigation, 44 East, 500 South of Burley, 678-3101, wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas. Now, wish me a Merry Christmas and call me up. We'll talk about Christmas or whatever. Give me a jingle on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Before I start this next story, I want to tell you, too, about urgent cares. You know, we really are blessed to have the insight and the thinking ahead like the James family did about 4, 5, 6 years ago when they were starting the urgent cares to serve you. Absolutely, and helping you save money on your health care. I'm telling you, they are the best. 3 locations to serve you. Riverview Urgent Care at 382 North Overland in Burley. Urgent Care in Jerome at 133 West Avenue A. And Urgent Care of Twin, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin Falls. You know, here's the deal. They can help save you money on your health care. You get treated, not seated, no appointment needed, open 7 days a week with extended hours, qualified providers, always on staff, and they can handle all your occupational health needs, drug screening, the list goes on. Remember the urgent cares serving you, Burley, Twin Falls, and Jerome. Really, really good folks. All right, your turn. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Last night there was a guy on TV. It was on Tucker Carlson's program. And, it's kind of like the Twilight Zone. This guy was up there in the galaxy. And he was advocating no borders anywhere in the world. Nope. No borders, no countries, and here's the kicker, a one world government. Oh, you've heard about these wackos before. You know, all would be the same. He said all would receive equal justice. All would have an equal voice. All would have one vote. And the whole world would become a nation of sheep, or a world of sheep. This psycho said that being all the same would leave everybody to go anywhere they wanted to in harmony and peace. Wow. And he said it would help, like, climate change. We'd all be dedicated to the same thing. The problem is you can sit there and laugh at these people when they're on television, but you got to remember that these kooks and crackpots, when they come out and say things like this, they do have followers. And very unfortunately, they get more followers when they see and hear what they're talking about on TV or radio or whatever. And that's what's scary, that something like that would gain attraction, excuse me, not only here, but around the world. And the United Nations, oh yeah, I have a great disdain for the United Nations. I honestly think they are the perpetrators of these kinds of concepts. And when somebody steps up and says, well, I think we should all be the same, all with an equal voice and no borders, I think the people at the United Nations and the heads of that despotic group, they go, oh, good, let's fund them some money. They're on our trail right now. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, the Bennett boys have got a sale this Saturday. Yep, it's the Kenny and Shan Blick auction over in Buell at 4022 North, 1100 East of Buell. Sale signs will be up. You can't miss it. It's going to be this Saturday, December 9th at 11 a.m. Oh, they've got horse trailers. They got farm equipment. They've got pickups. They got lawn and garden items. They got all kinds of shop items. I'm looking at a lot of the pictures and everything. Lunch by the Cook Shack, and the sale managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service and old Joe Bennett. 539-0111. The Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys can sell them all. That's coming up on this next Saturday. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Do you know who Al Green is? He's a representative in our Congress, and this guy, along with Mad Max Waters, has been calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump since he was sworn in as president. And old Al Green, I mean, when you see him on TV, I always urge people that when they see Al Green on television, if you have little children, shelter their eyes, because he has a face only a devoted mother could love. And he has been yelling and screaming for impeachment of Donald Trump since day one. And so he stood up yesterday in the halls of Congress, and he was absolutely demanding that Trump be impeached. Now, we have a little problem here. Number one, when quizzed as to what the charges were and what Trump had done to gain traction for the impeachment, they couldn't come up with anything. There aren't any charges that are bona fide and have been verified. They can't find anything unconstitutional. No. And then they finally quizzed old Al, and he said, well, I think he should be impeached because he's a disgrace to America. Oh, my goodness. The left doesn't like somebody, and they use the futile excuse of taking time in our United States Congress to stand up and spout such stupidity as, well, I think he should be impeached because he's a disgrace to America. Well, I've thought the same thing about Obama, but we didn't get an impeachment, for heaven's sakes. The left and the Democrats, sometime you got to start wondering how the bowling ball gets down the alley to hit the pins. You know, I mean, hey, these guys and gals, I don't know if they know a deck of cards is 52 when they're playing with 38. Anyhow, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't leave me lonesome. What's the matter, Doug? Did you sleep in again this morning? Barry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West and Twin, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Absolutely all the equipment rentals. They got lift rentals, and they've got all the skid steers. They've got everything. And the retail equipment sales. You'd better get in there with all the top-name brands like Hildy and Steel, Bobcat, etc. You give them a call or stop in. South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Barry Equipment and Rental. They do have all the equipment to get the job done right. I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark, and I'll bet you this is old DM, Doug Martin. Good morning.
No, it isn't.
Well, I was wrong. Go ahead.
But you'd probably rather listen to him. I know I would than to listen to me.
Oh, that's all right. Go ahead. What do you got?
Anyway, you see all these Democrats that have turned on Al Franken? You know, this is all part of a ploy, and I've kind of tried to figure this out myself. But if they get him out of there, and then comes Roy Moore.
Yep.
And I mean, they're really going to pour it on then. And they'll say, well, we had a couple of bad apples, but this is just terrible. And they'll just go on and on about it and try to drum him out.
Well,
I don't know what their reasoning is.
Let's keep things in perspective before you jump into that puddle of water about Roy Moore. Number one, Roy Moore has not won his election in Alabama. And when and if he wins that election, then we'll talk about whether or not there's going to be a public outcry to have him thrown out of office and out of the Senate because of maybe alleged transgressions. This is what's irritating me, Keith. We've turned into a society all of a sudden that allegations have criminalized people, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be you're innocent until proven guilty.
You see, Al Franken is really not guilty because he was a comedian, and that was his job, to make people laugh.
No.
And to touch them and everything just didn't have anything to do with it. But I maintain the thing that I've always said. When you're in Hollywood and you make a lot of money, that money makes you smarter because they sure think they are.
Well, I disagree with what you said as far as Al Franken doing it because everybody thought it was funny and a part of his act. No, it wasn't funny, and it shouldn't have been a part of his act.
It was, and you didn't either.
Well, I just...
But, I mean, it give him a pass, he thought.
Yeah. Hey, my friend, God bless you for filling in the void there for a minute. Thank you. God bless.
Just call you Lonesome Zeb.
All right. No, I'm not lonesome. I've got plenty of people to come in and help. Hey, don't forget we're going to be over at Denny's next Thursday, and that's going to be on December 14th from 8 to 11, broadcasting live and direct. And door prizes, Santa Claus. Register for that beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner from Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. 459 Overland and Burley. We're going to be at Denny's restaurant. Denny's, along with Lee's, teamed up to really give you a grand prize for Christmas. And all you have to do is go on in there, eat, and sign your receipt. Do it today. Put it in the big box up there at the cash register. Your name and your telephone number. You might be the lucky winner next Thursday. Don't forget, America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, and Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More wishing you a very Merry Christmas. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I find it interesting that those of us who spoke out against Mr. Obama were called racist. And that we had no right, supposedly, to speak out against him. And yet we have all these people that have no grounds who yell and holler against Trump. And when we say why, then we're the ones that's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding this.
Well, I went through, if you'll remember, back in 2007, before Obama was elected, I went through all this garbage from the local Democrats and the State Democratic Association and the State Democratic Party, and they tried to hang the racist title on me and everything else, when at the same time, if you'll think back into your memory banks, I was advocating that Condoleezza Rice should become president. I really liked her. And the last time I looked, they have the same shade of skin color.
Yeah, I know. So I don't understand this. Why is it that we could not speak out against Obama, and yet everybody who is Democrat, who are sore losers, can speak out against Trump.
Amen. No, it's absolutely insane. It's such a reverse thinking psychologically that it makes you wonder if maybe these people never did pass first grade with Ned and the first grade reader. I just don't know.
Well, and the other thing that it tells me is Mr. Trump must be doing something right, or they wouldn't be hollering and with no basis. They're feeling the pinch, and they don't like it.
I appreciate your call. Great way to take me into the weather this morning. Thank you.
All righty.
All righty. You know, she's right. When I listen to the likes of Al Green, and I listen to the Mad Maxine Waters, oh my goodness, how would you like to live in her district in California and have her as your representative? I mean, we'd all put on black clothing and put ashes on our forehead. Oh, please, don't elect her again. Despicable people. Absolutely despicable people. I've got to get a weather forecast on here, and right now it's brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with Dr. Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology. Christmas right around the corner. Yep, peak. See, there it is, right around the corner. And you want to hear what everybody's saying when you have the family gatherings over there. Maybe you got your neighbors coming over for Christmas cookies, and they're talking, and you're going, I can't hear a word they're saying. Well, then maybe you better get a hold of Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids today. They're right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. And the number to call for an appointment for a hearing screening, 312-0957. You call them today. I better quick go to the weather because I'm going to sneeze. Gina, go ahead.
You know, I'm seriously beginning to wonder if we're ever going to see some snow so we can have a white Christmas. Here is your weather forecast for Zev at the Ranch this morning. Patchy morning fog before noon. If you're out there, you might want to make sure you have your window scraper because your windows are going to be a little bit frosty. Other than that, sunny skies, high of 35 for today, tonight. Patchy fog after midnight. Otherwise, mostly clear with a low of 18 tomorrow. Patchy fog before noon, sunny skies after that, high of 38. Looks like mostly clear skies for Friday night with a low of 15. Saturday, mostly sunny, high near 40. Same for Sunday. Monday, sunny and 41, and maybe mid-40s for Tuesday. Never know. The weather could change, but that is your weather for us up at the ranch.
Thank you very much, and brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And, of course, I don't know what's going on, but the phone's ringing and nobody home. Anyway, they wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Don't forget Dr. Christine Pickup. Boy, she knows all about hearing and sound and can help you at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And the number, 312-0957. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you know who Chelsea Handler is? You know, she's supposedly, and I underline the word supposedly, a comedic, I don't know, I can't even qualify her as being a comedian or a comedic actress or a comedic talk show host, whatever the case might be. She is extremely left-wing. And I think the woman is a little bit sick and perverted. Let me tell you why. She made some of the crudest comments about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and I read the quote. I've got it right here, and I'm almost a little hesitant to even read the quote of Chelsea Handler to and about Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Caller, don't go away. Just a minute. I'm going to read this quickly. She made the comment that she called Sarah Huckabee Sanders that harlot, that they're dressing up and trolloping out every day. She said this on last Friday's episode of her TV show. She said, I mean, one day she has no makeup on at all. The next day she has 6-foot-long eyelashes. She's got cleavage and summer, and I'm not going to read the next word, lipstick, all over her face. Can you believe what they've turned her into? A proper trollop. That's disgusting. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, a mother and the daughter of Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas, and to be treated like this by the liberal left, it's beyond pathetic. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, Zeb,
there's a double standard out there. The Democrats can say anything they want to about Republicans or conservatives or Christians, but if you go the other direction, oh my gosh, but that's because, the fake news, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, etc., they run the show, and they really run the Democratic Party. And the New York Times, I have a book that's dated 1969. It was published, all the news that's fit, and it was a war correspondent for the New York Times. And so he was reporting that we were winning, we were making progress in Vietnam. But, of course, the New York Times led the anti-war effort, and all of our Vietnam vets that came home, and including many of my friends, and they were, just spit on and everything else when they come home, because they were being told that they were killing innocent men and women and children over there indiscriminately.
Yeah.
And, of course, that wasn't true.
Right.
But, the fake news has been bringing down the culture of this country, and they're doing anything they can to denigrate anybody that's on a Republican or a Christian and so forth. You're right on target as far as, people can dress whatever they want. It bothers me that the grown women in their 30s and 40s are wearing blue jeans that are just look like they got into some battery acid, But if that's what they want to do, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't particularly care for it. It certainly doesn't add anything to their appearance. In fact, it's detracting.
Well, let me jump in on you a little bit and say this. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and I absolutely have a lot of respect for the lady. They tore into her about 2 weeks ago, and they said she couldn't cook. Now, here's a southern-raised gal that loves to make a delicious, great big family-type pecan pie. And they went into her and they said, oh, you're terrible. You're bragging about your cooking and everything. You probably can't even boil water. And then they go from that point to this point of calling her certain words I won't even use on the radio this morning. The left is so sick and perverted. I don't know what to say about them anymore except grow up or get out of Dodge City. I've had all I can take with their absolute destruction of people. That's all they're doing right now is destroying people.
Well, and I think the one word that destroyed Hillary's chances for election, she word the word deplorable.
Yeah.
All of us out there that are, believe in the Ten Commandments, the Bible, believe in the Second Amendment, the Ten Commandments, and so forth. We're the deplorables out here. We're the ones that voted in Trump. And, boy, they still haven't accepted that. And, of course, the Republican establishment's the same way. But you're right, Zeb. They will tear into the character. They don't care.
Yeah.
And this is their whole modus operandus, is that they destroy the character. Well, look what they've tried to do with Judge Roy Moore. And I think that whole thing has been faked up from day one. The fact that he ran for office how many different times, and now this comes up before the election.
Yeah, I got to run and I got to do a commercial for our major sponsor, but you brought up some excellent points, and so may I say this to you. From one deplorable to another, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And people, Christians, get involved because we're losing our Constitution if we don't stop this Robert Mueller and company.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Don't forget our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, serving you. Doing the right thing matters, and they urge you to get ready for the wintertime driving, the snow, the ice, the muck, the yuck. Oh, yes, have the right tires with the right tread designs for your cars and your pickups and your SUVs, and they got all the tire chains. They've got everything over there at all 7 locations for your safe wintertime driving. And, of course, don't forget the best in brake service and front-end alignments and shocks and struts and batteries. We overlook those batteries. Don't do that because you're not going anywhere if all of a sudden it goes click, click, click. They've got the best with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, and real quick, and I mean, I got to do this real quick. I'm running way behind. Don't forget, of course, a great deal for you and your family. Call the Fairview Inn and Suites by Marriott and reserve a room for your relatives that are coming in for Christmas. That's right. You don't want to share your bathroom. You don't want to stand in line. No. Call the Fairview Inn and Suites by Marriott at 677-5000. Reserve a room for them, and everybody's going to be smiling on Christmas morning. That's right. Fairview Inn and Suites by Marriott, 230 West 7th North in Burley, 677-5000. Wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas. Oh, and by the way, real quick before I send it over to Wheels, the left-wing nuts, the millennials, they're really upset that you and I are calling them snowflakes, and they demand that we stop. So to wrap up this hour, I'm going to say snowflakes, 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 snowflakes. See you back in 7 minutes. Don't go away. Oh, here we go. Hour number 2 on a Thursday. Good morning, good morning. We're going to have the Chamber Report in just a moment, but stand by. I want to tell everybody our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and get ready for wintertime driving. And, of course, some of our great advertisers, including Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
4 words that sum it up, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Get on the route service, and they'll come by weekly and pick up your garbage. It's gone. Wave goodbye to it. Great drivers and really good people. Right there, you set your clock by the time they pick them up, and every week's the same. They do a great job. We've been on their route service for a long time. Western Way Services, and also they've got all the dumpsters in various sizes so you can clean out your office, garage, or whatever. It's going to take a big one to help me. Don't forget to give them a call today. Western Way Services, always at your disposal, 734-6969. Hey, there's a big doings going on over at Four Paws annual Christmas open house at Four Paws Bed and Bath this Saturday, and that's going to be from 11 to 2 at 370 West 200 South of Rupert. Hello, Kathy and the crew. The number to call to get more information, 438-4444. You can get free pictures with your dog sitting on Santa Claus's lap. Take in your great big St. Bernards. It'll be worth watching. Lots of good prizes and food, everything a lot of fun, too. They've done this for a long time. Four Paws annual Christmas open house this Saturday from 11 to 2. Don't you miss it. Going to be a lot of fun. By the way, I want to say thank you to some people that have been with us almost from the very start of this program. And that's, of course, Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, his family, and the staff. And this kind of the time of the year, you know, everybody's happy and bustling around and everything. But let's face it, a part of life is that when there's the passing of a loved one, you need help. You want to get things done in a big hurry. You don't know what to do. Whoa, stop, take a deep breath, and call these folks at Hanson Mortuary. They can and they will help you, always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. The number to call, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. That number again, 436-5636. Oh, and by the way, too, another Merry Christmas wish, and it goes to you this morning from our friends at Certified Pest Control. Hello, Kevin. I tell you what, I swear by these folks. I really do, because, man, I tell you, they saved our bacon a couple of years ago. Like all farms and ranches around the area, we were being just inundated with mice and voles coming in, and oh, boy, all of a sudden we called Kevin, end of problem. Certified Pest Control, they know how to get rid of those pests. They know what to do. Problem solved. Give them a call today at 312-8577. Certified Pest Control, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Holy buckets, we're running late. She's waiting. She's chomping on the bit. Here's Kyla over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Zev, this morning?
I am running so late, I can't believe it. I'm so sorry to keep you on hold.
You are fine. You are fine. Well, Zev, I'll make this quick then so we can get you back on track. But first of all, Merry Christmas.
Merry
And
Christmas.
I wanted to let you know our Christmas party is tonight, folks. So the open house at the Visitor Center is tonight from 4 to 6. Everyone in the community is welcome. We'll have some light refreshments, which means AKA, Christmas cookies, which are one of my favorites. We'll have Santa and Mrs. Claus here, so you're welcome to bring your kids that are accompanied by an adult so they can sit on Santa's lap and let him know what they might like for this Christmas season. We'll have some music playing. We'll have all sorts of folks here, so just stop on in anytime from 4 to 6 tonight at the Visitor Center. We're located over here in Hayburn on 7th Street, 1177 7th Street here in Hayburn, right next to the park. So please, we'd love to see you.
I had a lady call me the other day after I did the advertisement for you and that very special gift shop you have at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. And she was new to the area, and she said that she had been over there and found some amazing items for her Christmas gift giving. So you might highlight that a little bit.
Oh, sure. In fact, I'm super excited to let you guys know. We'll put some pictures on our Facebook and Instagram, but we have what we call the Sugar Shack, which means it's products from Amalgamated Sugar, which, of course, is right here in our neck of the woods. They have some darling aprons that say, "Give me some sugar." They also have some really neat cookie cutters in the shapes of tractors, in the shapes of sugar beets. We have those packaged if you want both or just one or the other. And we have these, I don't know what to call them, retro sugar shakers. They're the glass with the cool red top with amalgamated sugar on them. And I know that there's a lot of folks that have ties to amalgamated sugar. This might be a perfect gift option. You put the sugar in, and it's just like you were at the diner and you pour the sugar out, when you could just pour it for days. So I really like it. I don't know, I'm a big sugar fan. So we have coloring books for the kids that kind of illustrate where sugar comes from. That's just some of the stuff that we have. We have lots of Dorothy's Made in Idaho products, from huckleberry to choke cherry. Everything from pancake mixes to potato bread mixes and soup mixes. And we have some locally made pottery, which a lot of people are picking up as just a perfect housewarming gift or a special gift for a wedding or other events that you have going on. So stop on in and take a look today. It'll be a lot of fun.
I got an idea for you. I've got an idea for you.
Okay.
Now, this just hit me when you were talking about the pancake mixes and everything. Why don't you and your staff devote maybe an hour or 2 hours on a certified special day between now and Christmas and take every one of the products and make them up and have an open house for people to come by and sample so they could buy them?
Oh, that would be yummy, and we would be really, really happy to do that, honestly, because that would just be delicious. So that is a wonderful idea. I don't know if we can do it today because we didn't have time to bake any bread, but we would love, let me talk to the staff and let's see if we can do that here in the next week. That would be fun.
Okay, now I'll tell you what, though, the only stipulation I've got is that you do it on a Friday when I'm not on the air so I can come over and have all the good food.
I might have to surprise you and bring a plate of pancakes over. Or something.
I would take it, and I would absolutely bow down at your feet.
You don't have to do that. You just need to eat the pancakes. That would be great. Real quickly, there's a couple other things I just want to talk about that are coming up. So we've got December 8th and 9th, A Star is Spawn. It's a one-man show happening at the Historic Wilson Theater. And Snake River Bowl, this is a fabulous thing to do with your family. They're having their Ugly Sweater Cosmic Bowl, and that is happening 9 to 11, I believe, on the 9th. So you want to get over there and check it out, both the 8th and the 9th. And then Pomeroy Place has their Festival of Trees going on the 9th. And then Crepes with the Clauses is a fun event, but it is RSVP only at Nature Nursery and Market. That's happening here on Saturday, I believe, as well. Nope, that's actually on the 9th as well. So A night of sharing and caring is happening on December 11th. This is just a neat event. Real quickly, Zeb, it's at Burley Junior High, 6 to 8 p.m. If you know a family or friends or kids your own age, you're welcome to come 6 to 8 p.m. to Burley Junior High. They are going to have clothes. They'll have some food. They are just thinking it's a neat way to get some people out to an event that's going to be like a party, a lot of fun, and they can pick things out that really will help them out. They'll have, like I said, clothing and all sorts of wonderful things there. I know all of us know probably someone who could use a little extra help this holiday season. This is the perfect thing to invite them to.
Absolutely. And if people have questions and they need to call you or any one of the great people over there at the Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce, what are one or two of the 9,357 ways to get a hold of you?
I would encourage you to please just give us a call, 208-679-4793, or you can stop in any time. We're open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And tonight we're open a little later, 4 to 6, because it's our Christmas party. So perfect day to stop on in.
All right. Kylie, you do a great job. I'm looking forward to the pancakes and whatever else on the plate. God bless them. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Deb, to you and yours, and we will talk to you next week.
We'll look forward to it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Really nice people that are doing so much to serve the community. At the Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce, you stop in. Big Christmas party tonight from 4 to 6. Don't you miss it. By the way, an old friend of ours, I got to emphasize the word old friend of ours, Doug at Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair, 635 21st Street in Heyburn. He says thank you to all the customers for their business, and he also wants to remind you Christmas, the reason for the season, the birth of Jesus. Thank you, Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair, 635 21st Street in Heyburn, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. By the way, I get calls on this, and I wanted to remind everybody that don't let your dogs, pardon me, down by the Snake River. I'm choking a little bit here, and to some people that's a good thing. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn, they put on a warning, and it's really true. There is a blue-green algae that is growing along the banks of the Snake River right now and can be very dangerous and / deadly to your dog. So be very, very careful. And if your dog's been exposed to that, please get them into Ark Animal Hospital today, right away. 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital with Dr. Bill and the whole crew, a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small. They love them all. And believe me, the number to call is 678-1177. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and we have a young lady that is going to tell us about the Burley Area Merchants Association, and that's Amy. Good morning, Amy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fine.
You know, Amy, I think it's great that you have an association called the Burley Area Merchants Association. Can you give us a little background and a little history on that and what you folks do?
So the Burley Area Merchants was started a lot of years ago to have the merchants be able to bond together and do things that promote their businesses. We support like the sidewalk sale. We sponsor Santa in his house on Saturdays in the Centennial Park.
Mm-hmm.
We have done the Easter egg, well, not an Easter egg hunt, but the Easter egg spring fling at Centennial Park also the weekend before Easter. And we just try to support the businesses and try and get the community to support our local businesses.
You know, and right there, Amy, is such an important point, and I'm so glad you made that. Support the local businesses. And, you know, I'm one of these kind of guys that, hey, I'm not going to drive from here to Timbuktu to go shop, and I'm going to shop locally, keep the money in my area, because then those folks are the ones that are always hit up. All the merchants are always hit up for support, whether it's for Little League Baseball or whether it's for new band uniforms, whatever the case might be. So shop locally and help the merchants, and the money stays right in the area. Isn't that right?
That's so true, because if we don't have the support, then we can't afford to support the teams and the schools. It has to come from local people.
Right. And you've got a lot of activities and festivities, like you said, during the course of the year. Amy, is there anything else that we need to highlight that's going on thanks to Bama that's going to lead us up to Christmas? Anything else we've overlooked?
Well, we just had our big Christmas celebration, and that is our light parade that we had on Monday.
Uh-huh.
And we'd like to thank everyone who supported the parade by either putting in an entry or those who came out and watched and had donuts and hot chocolate in the park.
Okay. And what about, I wanted you to highlight, if you would please, a little bit more about Bella the Elf in 25 area stores. What does that mean, and how did they go about participating in this fun at Christmas time?
So Bella the Elf is in some of our stores, and if you go on to our Facebook page, it will have a list of businesses, and you need to go in and find Bella. And when you find Bella the Elf, and they have a bucket that you can put an entry form in, and then we will be giving away gift certificates to Burley merchants.
Oh, wow. Okay. And it sounds to me like you've got all your bases covered with BAMA, Burley Area Merchants Association. And is it growing in popularity? I mean, you got 25 businesses. It sounds like it's getting bigger and bigger every year.
We are. We're getting bigger. We're having some new businesses come in town, and they're joining and helping us out.
Well,
we really appreciate that.
Now, you thought, honestly, that you were a little tentative about coming on my program, but we had a kind of a good time, didn't we?
We did. I lived through it.
Well, now, I certainly hope so, and I hope you don't have to go on oxygen and the next minute you hang up the phone. But God bless you, and Merry Christmas. You did a wonderful job on behalf of the Burley Area Merchants Association. Amy, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, and Merry Christmas to you.
And same right back at you. Thank you so much. Nice lady right there. Amy with the Burley Area Merchants Association. Shop locally, and the money stays at home and always helps all of us. There you go. Okay, where am I? I'm sitting in the chair, and I've got a whole bunch of things to do, and your calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let me see, I've got to do that. I want to remind you real quick about a great big stock cow sale, and it's going to be next Monday. Now, the Burley Livestock Sale, the regular sale, is today. I've already told you all about that. But next Monday, they got a big stock cow sale, and it's going to start at high noon at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Don't miss it. It's going to start at high noon at 1100 Occidental Avenue on Monday. Merv May, Cade, Rogge, Lance Udy taking all the consignments. They've got a lot of young cows. They've got a whole bunch of middle-aged cows. They got all the stock cows you could be looking for. And if you need to consign some, get a hold of them today. Burley Livestock Sale Yard Stock Cow Sale next Monday at high noon. Don't you miss it. Going to be a lot of fun. And a lot of good cows, too. Let's see, and I want to talk to you a little bit about our friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Now, here's the deal, folks. You probably have heard by now that they have kind of teamed up with our dear friend Thomas over at Denny's in Burley. And next Thursday, on the 14th, I'm going to be broadcasting live and direct over there. And you can get in there today, tomorrow, this weekend, whatever, and eat at Denny's restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. And then when you're finished, go up to the cash register, sign your receipt after you pay, and put your phone number on there, drop it in the box, and you might be a lucky winner next Thursday of a beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner that's been donated to our good friend Jeff and the crew over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. I'm telling you, Merry Christmas. Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, and Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More with Jeff and the crew. Wow, this is going to be really something to have that drawing next Thursday. We're going to be over there at Denny's for our annual Christmas party, and we're going to have door prizes, Santa Claus, choirs, singing, and like I said, the drawing for that recliner. So get in there today and eat and enjoy at Denny's Restaurant. And thank you to Thomas at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, and Jeff over at Leeds Furniture, Floors and More for that beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner. Oh, my. And by the way, too, I want to remind you that there's all kinds of great buys at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More on the sofas and the bedroom sets and the carpeting. And don't forget, it's Santa's favorite place to shop. Yeah, no money down, no interest, up to 12 months on approved credit. Woo! Best savings, the best values on everything for your home at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, 459 Overland in Burley. Really nice people. We are rolling along on a Thursday, and I got time for a phone call. My goodness, give me a jingle quickly on the phone line. Love to hear from you, and we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. Let's see, what else did I have in the news this morning? A story that I wanted to hit earlier, and I didn't have time, is that the Holy Cross College, and I'm very familiar with Holy Cross College. As a matter of fact, a long time ago, I had thought about going to that college. Well, the students are changing everything that the college has stood for years. And this coming Monday is going to be the final day in which members of the Holy Cross Community College can share its opinions on the appropriateness. Now listen carefully to this. This shows you how messed up our world is. On the appropriateness of the school's Crusader nickname, because some of the students say that by using the term and the mascot Crusaders, it shows insensitivity to Muslims. We cater, we change, we alter, and we stop to be more sensitive to Muslims? No. This absolutely infuriates me. They are going to kill the nickname and possibly kill the use of the Crusader as a mascot. Holy Cross Crusaders. Absolutely. That name alone shows power and integrity. Oh, yeah, but now some of the students want to stop it because it might show insensitivity to Muslims. And you think we don't have a problem? Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's ride 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Oh, now is the time to get over there and check out all the 2018 snowmobiles. You know the angel dandruff is going to start falling. You know that you're going to be up in the hills enjoying yourself. You know that they've got great buys on 4x4s and four-wheelers and side-by-sides. They've got it all over there, and you know that it's a great Christmas gift-giving idea to stop in and check out their accessory department. Wow. Let's ride 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. This place is the original and only place where the fun is sold. Let's ride in Rupert. Really good, folks. In just a moment, we're going to have the lovely Rita Ramsey on our program. But before we say good morning to her, I have one more really, really good group of folks I want to say thank you to. And that's Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. You know, the folks over there, Todd and the crew, they are so nice and so accessible and devoted, and they're conscientious to make sure that you keep up on everything that's going on. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. That number to call for an appointment, 436-4424. Remember, the best serving you, Cameron and Siemens Insurance. You get a hold of them today. Well, we're just about ready, and don't forget, we've got at 10:30 this morning, we've got the president and CEO of Job Creators Network, Alfredo Ortiz. This is a sharp guy. He has worked with President Trump before President Trump was President Trump, and talk about small business and everything. Really a good guy. He's been on my program once before, and really looking forward to having him back again. And that's at 10:30 this morning. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and let us see if the lovely Rita Ramsey is on the phone. Good morning, Rita. Are you there?
Good morning. I am here.
Well, I tell you, Rita, every week the list of news stories gets bigger and longer. And I'm going to start off with Al Green this morning. And do you know who Al Green is?
I probably do, but it's not ringing any bells.
Well, if you saw him, you wouldn't forget him. He's got a face only a devoted mother could love. Al Green is that representative that has been crying along with Mad Maxine Waters since day one to have Trump impeached. You know who I mean now, I'm sure.
Yes.
You know, and they asked him yesterday, when he stood up on the floor of the House and he was railing about impeaching President Trump, some reporters said, well, wait a minute. What are the charges? What did he do wrong? What are the crimes? And finally, Big Al, with that face that has been shoveled a couple of times, said, well, really nothing other than Trump is a disgrace, so I want to see him impeached. This is what the left has to offer, nothing.
Well, that's the whole problem with everything is, if it suits them, there doesn't need to be anything. And if it's on the other side of the aisle, it's like there doesn't need to be anything, and we can do it. So with on the Democrat side, there can be all kinds of everything going on, happening, and that's beside the point. The point is that we are going to target the Republicans, and even a hint of something. I mean, who would have thought that even Mitch McConnell, who is on our side supposedly, would be targeting Roy Moore?
Yeah.
I mean, he just does not want to have another conservative in there, so they're willing to have a Democrat, which would mean that they wouldn't have the power to vote and win votes.
Let me ask you this, and you've always been very straightforward on my program. Wheels, we got a little bit of feedback there. Please help me. What are your thoughts about Judge Roy Moore and the allegations, and he may win that Senate race in Alabama, but the allegations have turned into a guilty by the left. In this country, we're still innocent until proven guilty. What are your thoughts?
Well, the first thing is, there are allegations, and if they're true, they need to be investigated and charges need to be placed. I don't know about the statutes of limitations, but, 40 years ago. The other thing is why did they not come forward when he was a Supreme Court judge in their state?
Yeah.
Why did any of this not come forward when he was running in the primaries in his state? The thing that's just sad about the whole thing is it stinks to high heaven, and they just keep opening it up and saying this and that and the other, and nothing has ever come out. So it's like, if there is something, it should have come out by now. I mean, if there is, what is it? Where is it? Tell us.
I totally agree with you, and I know that the left and the Democrats, as well as I do, they're going to do this. That Franken, if he gets booted out or he leaves on his own accord, they're going to use that as a wedge, and they're going to say that if Roy Moore gets elected to the Senate, they're going to say, well, look at the low class of the Republican Party. But there again, we go back to proof, guilt, and everything being bona fide and on the table. And right now, Rita, all I want to do is have written proof or documented proof of allegations that are true, and I'll be the first person in America on the radio to turn on Judge Roy Moore like a junkyard dog.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you can't have that kind of stuff going on and nobody receive any kind of consequences for it. The whole big issue is that with Al Franken, there was a picture, and he never denied any of the allegations that have been made against him, and they just keep coming out more and more and more and more. In the same way with Conyers, and finally he decided he would leave because they were mounting so heavily, but he knew darn good and well that it was true. This stuff with Roy Moore, there's been one by an underage girl of 14 saying that he wanted to date her or whatever, but they never said that he was inappropriate or anything else. And the supposed yearbook that he was supposed to sign for this little gal, that isn't so that anybody can actually see it. So if they really have something, why haven't they come forward? With Al Franken, they have stuff. They have a lot of stuff. And I'm not so sure that the Democrats won't cause him to go ahead and resign, especially with as many allegations that he hasn't said, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
And put him up on the chopping block and let him be the one who takes the fall, so that as soon as Roy Moore gets in there, they can say, well, you know, we made Al Franken leave, and it was just allegations with him, and so we'll make you leave. The Republicans, the ones who are they aren't really Republicans. They have an R behind their name. They've been supporting anybody but Roy Moore, and are promising, as is McConnell, that they will go ahead and start some kind of, you know, we're going to make it difficult for you, and we're going to make you leave as soon as you come in here.
Yeah.
But just even people, the other night I was listening, it was late, and I was listening on Patriot Radio, and they had some people, I think they were all down in Alabama at a rally for Roy Moore, because there were Alabama people that are in the state Republican Party. But Jeff Flake, Mr. Flaky Flake, donated $100 to the Democrat running against Roy Moore.
Yeah.
So they're coming from all sides trying to get that Democrat elected so that Roy Moore isn't in there. And the big thing is, I wouldn't be one bit surprised. In fact, I say this is where it came from, that McConnell started all of this to begin with, because he does not want another conservative in the Senate. He wants somebody who will go along with him.
Yeah. It's just every day is a new turning over of dirty dirt that's going on in politics. The next story that I wanted you to comment on, I was so taken aback by what, you know who Chelsea Handler is?
I don't.
She is a sick, demented, left-wing sloth talk show host on television. She's got her own show, Chelsea Handler, etc. And she made a statement about Sarah Huckabee Sanders that I read this last hour that is so sick and so pathetic and demented. I'm going to read it to you. It's been in all the news here this last week, and I want to get your thoughts on it. I'm going to skip some of the filthy words that she put in here. When she was referring to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Chelsea Handler said, quote, "That harlot that they're dressing up and trolloping out every day." Handler said on last Friday's episode, she said, I mean, one day she has no makeup on at all. The next day she has 6-foot-long eyelashes. She's got cleavage and a summer, and I'm going to leave the blank out on the lipstick, all over her face. Can you believe what they turned her into? A proper trollop. Now this is beyond disgusting.
Well, it actually is, and it's no different for them attacking her than if they're going to attack Trump's kids or grandkids or his nephew's kids or anything like that. This is just one way that they can make some kind of a spiel about something because they can't find anything about Trump. And it would be interesting to hear what they really have to say about Sarah Huckabee if there was some substance there. There's nothing there. She doesn't have blemishes, or they would have found him and really attacked her by now. So let's look at the way that she looks. She's not maybe she's not a model. Maybe she's not, a beauty queen. Maybe she's not just the most beautiful person in the world. But I'll tell you something. She knows how to handle the press, and she is savvy, and she's got a wit that will just come back when those people start harassing her. And I think it's amazing. I thought it was quite trite that they would say, she said she made that pecan pie, and she really didn't. We know it was a bought one. How do you know it was a bot and one, for crying out loud?
Yeah, but wait a minute.
I mean, why do we worry about that?
Yeah, and when you start, you being the liberal left and people like Chelsea Handler and others, start going after a person's looks or attributes, turn this story around a little bit, and why couldn't we then go after the denigration of looks by Hillary Clinton, or the denigration of her looks regarding Wasserman Schultz, or anybody else? If the right started going after people on a denigration because of their looks, the left would come out of the woodwork.
Well, they absolutely would, and they'd say, well, that's not fair. You don't go after this, and you don't go after that, but they can. It's all that there's just a double standard, and it's that we put up with it.
Yeah.
That's the part that's bad, is we put up with it. Sometimes it's easier to just say, oh, say what you want and turn and walk away, because there's no sense in fighting.
Rita, the world is turned upside down with liberal, democratic, filthy thoughts. And when I had the story on this morning about what's going on in Washington, the state of Washington is going to be voting very soon and considering going down the same yellow brick insane road as California and Oregon. And on all the baby certificates of birth, they're going to go 3 boxes: male, female, or X. Doesn't this just show you how deranged our society is?
It really does, and it's sad to see that common sense has just been overridden by stupidity. I mean, if people don't want to have specific things on their permanent records for their entire life, I guess that's up to them. But, you know, it would be sad to live in states where there's just not enough common sense to make, you know, things happen that are kind of like, you know what? It doesn't matter who you want to be. You're either a male or a female when you're born, and that's it, and this is the way we're going to do it. Instead of saying, well, we maybe better bow down to this group, or we maybe better give, you know, a little slack to that group. And, I mean, why does it be that people have to be so offended? You're either male or female when you're born. The doctor looks at you, and he knows, and that's the way it is, and that's how it's identified. And if you want to go back and make changes and so on and so on and so on, then do it legally after you're an adult and you can afford an attorney to make all those changes.
Did you see the guy on television last night? He is a Caucasian white male that now said, no, I don't want to be a white male anymore. I'm going to go with transracial, transgenderism, and I am now going to be a Filipino female. I mean, this is off the rails stupid.
Well, it really is, and a while back, I can't remember, I listened to radio all day and half the night, so I listened to just everything that there is out there. There was a fellow on one of the radio shows, and he's actually written a book, and 30 or more years ago, he had his sex changed, and it was just absolutely miserable for him. But it was all the fight within himself. It wasn't that people caused this or that or the other. It was all the fight within himself. And so he went ahead and had it changed back. And then he has married a woman who he's been married to for the last 20-some years. But he in the time that he had these sex changes and everything, he had gone to get his degree in psychology and specialize in these people that have these issues about what gender they are and stuff. So he's a psychologist, and he said, you know, he said, I know this from experience, that people who aren't happy with their gender and they want to have it changed, they've got other issues. And so he said, for them to go and spend all the money and have all of the evasive stuff that needs to be done to your body, and there's tons more stuff happening with your brain, you are really in bad shape. And what it boils down to is they just want to be a regular person, and sometimes those things have happened. The reason that they've got these gender issues is because they've had abuse or something, you know, in their earlier life, and they're trying to escape it. But it's more a psychological thing than anything else, and they go back and have to have them reversed or want them reversed.
Yeah.
And my question is, who's paying for all of that?
Oh, gee. And if they're members of the military, take another guess at who pays for it.
Well, I tend to think that even people who aren't in the military probably get through, and because you know the insurance companies would never pay for that. So they must depend on Medicaid or disability or something like that, and that's who we're all paying for it anyway. But it's a psychological thing, and they're not happy once they change anyway. So then they want to go back, and it's kind of like, let's treat them for the psychological issues that they've got, and help them to have a happy life being who they are, and address the issues that they have instead of going to all of this other and joining up with the troops that are condemning those of us that don't agree with it.
Amen. I'm going to do a weather forecast, and when we come back, we're going to talk about cheating on the welfare system. Stay tuned. Right now, the weather is brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, and 2 locations to serve you in Burley and Rupert. It's Christmas time, and they wish you a very Merry Christmas. And don't forget, it's if you got any questions about your taxes, don't hesitate. Give them a call today. They can help your tax planning before the end of the year and anything else regarding your business, your family, everything that connects with your taxation. You give them a call. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, serving you in Burley and Rupert. Right now, here's the weather.
You know, I'm seriously beginning to wonder if we're ever going to see some snow so we can have a white Christmas. Here is your weather forecast for Zev at the Ranch this morning. Patchy morning fog before noon. If you're out there, you might want to make sure you have your window scraper because your windows are going to be a little bit frosty. Other than that, sunny skies, high of 35 for today. Tonight, patchy fog after midnight. Otherwise, mostly clear with a low of 18 tomorrow. Patchy fog before noon, sunny skies after that, high of 38. Looks like mostly clear skies for Friday night with a low of 15. Saturday, mostly sunny, high near 40. Same for Sunday. Monday, sunny and 41, and maybe mid-40s for Tuesday. Never know. The weather could change. But that is your weather for us up at the ranch.
Gina always does a great job putting it together for us, and we appreciate it. The weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. CPAs that have been serving the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. And don't forget, if you've got tax planning to do before the end of the year, don't wait till the last minute. Get a hold of them today. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Rita, right now, Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin is starting to implement an idea that I came out with well over 2.5 years ago. I went through the records, and you and I had talked about this on my program. Basically, and very primitively, I said that anybody that's a tax cheat or a welfare fraud should be forced to have drug testing, and if they fail, they're off the system, and it's either you pay your own way or the consequences you're going to suffer. The state of Wisconsin is now going to try to implement the same idea for drug testing to cut back on the welfare system cheating that's going on and the food stamp use cheating, and it's about high time that all the states started implementing something like this. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I absolutely agree with that, and the thing of it is that every state has tons and tons of people that are on welfare that shouldn't be. Some of the people who really need to have assistance are being neglected, but there's just so many people on it that it's just weighting down, and that's the big problem with our country is that we don't have enough money to do the things that we need to do because there's so many cheaters out there. And there should be a lot of people that are like, no, you can't have any. You're not a citizen. You don't get anything. If you're a cheat and you don't qualify, you don't get any. And incidentally, if you cheat, you're going to have 10 years before you would ever qualify for assistance if you really did need it. I mean, there needs to be some stringent laws out there governing this. It is so loose and so people are just so willing to let's just sign everybody up for it that it's pathetic. And the people who really should be getting some help are the ones who fall through the cracks and are really, really having a difficult time.
Absolutely. You know, and I know, people, circumstances, and incidences where the cheaters are taking our tax dollars and abusing the system, and you know as well as I do, they're probably going home watching TV, eating bonbons, putting their feet up on their coffee table going, ha ha, I milked the system. Well, the system's going to stop milking and giving that free milk to them. I think they ought to be hauled in for being frauds as far as using drugs and drug abuse. And then also, I have said on this program a file-by-file, case-by-case system as to those that are able-bodied, can work, won't work, throw them out, make them be supportive of themselves.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, there's another side to that. There's people who get disability and they're disqualified for making any kind of income whatsoever. The amount of disability that they get is pretty minimal.
Right.
But it discourages them from saying, you know, I could get training and do something else and be a productive citizen, because if they do anything, all of a sudden they just lose all that they've got. And that's a really bad deal. The other thing is there's just not enough screening, and this is the really sad part in our business, and it's been several years since we participated with them because we just told them we're done with you. We don't want to mess with this anymore. Is that there's a place that helps people out with weatherization and I don't know what other kinds of things that they help them with. But they were even doing furnaces, that they would do furnaces for people. And so we would have to give them bids for furnaces, and if we had the lowest price, we would put in a furnace for this. Well, there were places that we were putting in furnaces that the people didn't even own the home that they were in that they were putting furnaces in for. Therefore, that outfit was putting furnaces in for a landlord, and people were having furnaces and heat pumps put in mobile homes that the whole installation was probably 3 times the value of the mobile home.
Oh, my.
And just wasting the money just out the wazoo. And it was horrible because there were some people who really needed, you know, like a person who just has no money to buy a furnace and their furnace breaks down, and what do? That's what these people are supposed to help with, is people like that. Instead, let's just give away all this stuff and do it, and we don't care whether we're putting it in for the homeowner or the renter, and they've just wasted it. And that's just the exact thing that happens with all branches of giveaways, is it gets to the wrong people, and it's wasteful, and it's just not reaching who needs to get it, and other people are just taking advantage of it, and it's a sad deal.
Well, Rita, why can't there be, why shouldn't there be an investigatory system or group of people on every case to really see the merit or the non-merit or the abuse or the use of the system? That's our money.
Well, they're supposed to be, and we are told all the time that there are watchdogs out there, and there are people that, you know, investigate this kind of stuff. I don't know if you remember or not. I'm sure you probably do. Every twice in a while, Greta Van Susteren would come on her show, and she would have this huge file of something that she'd been investigating and find all of the abuse and waste and everything. And she'd get a hold of people in Washington and have them come on, and she'd ask them about it, and they'd, oh, yeah, we need to check into that, and we'll check this and get on the oversight committee and da-da-da-da-da, and absolutely nothing would happen.
Right.
It's really sad because there are people out there that would go in and do the investigating and say, this is what needs to happen, close it down, shut the gates, you're done with the checkbook, rip up the credit card, we're done letting you have money because of so much waste, and until you start, you know, taking some responsibility here. But they won't. And the people who are in charge of those particular offices and so forth, it's kind of like, well, if I do that, somebody's going to get mad at me, and they just will not do it. It's just this tax thing, you know. They don't have enough money to pay for the tax cuts. Well, hello, why don't you just stop spending more money?
You know,
that's just an unheard thing. They will not stop spending money.
Yeah,
and
the
wasting
bleeding heart liberals, and you've heard this, and I'm running over time, but I'm just going to make this quick statement. Give me a short response. I'm done time-wise. But they'll say, oh, well, you're going to hurt the children of these people if you crack down on. Wait a minute. Why should I pay for their family situation? Nobody paid for mine.
Well, that's exactly right. And you know what? If the people in the community were in charge of it, they could find those who are needing the help and help them and take it out of the hands of the parents who have wasted away everything and will take the food stamps and sell them for drugs instead of buying food for them.
There you go. Woo! Boy, we covered a lot of ground. I don't know, but our horses are tired. Rita, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, thank you, Rita Ramsey. I always enjoy having her on the program. Thank you very much. Hey, don't forget, big stock cow sale going to be next Monday at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. High noon starting time next Monday. All kinds of really good stock cows, young stock cows, middle-aged stock cows, cows of all ages at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Yes, Merv May, Lance UDK, Roggy. You get a hold of them for consignments, and that's going to be next Monday. Great big stock cow sale at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Don't you miss it, starting at high noon. Hey, I'm hungry. I make no bones about it this time of the day, and I'm starving to death. I know some great places to go. Listen to some of these menu items. Oh, my goodness, at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley, eggnog shakes, and the chicken fried steak sandwich with maybe the fries and the special sauce. Oh, or famous Farmer Brown burgers. It's always delicious at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, let's go over to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Oh, pumpkin empanadas. Oh, I love those. And you're going to love the Taco Bandito has bacon with jalapeno in it. Ooh, and breakfast burritos that'll just absolutely knock your boots off. Delicious. All of this and more at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. How about Burgers Etc.? 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. Eggnog shakes and different soups every day and spicy chicken combo. Have you had that after 3 p.m., only $5.99? It's delicious. You're going to love the people and love the food at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Well, how about Steve-O's? 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Oh, my goodness sakes, they've got delicious soups. They've got a delicious new salad called the Chaos Salad, and it's got chicken breast, bacon, pickles, jalapeno peppers, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, all the goodies. And they've got buffalo burgers. Oh, my goodness. They're open Monday to Saturday, 11 to 9. Steve-O's in Hayburn. And last but not least, Doc's Pizza at 514 6th Street in Rupert. Oh, yeah. You can still reserve your Christmas party. Great affordable space for all your party needs and delicious pizzas. Oh, my. It's a great place to go. There is no other pizza like it at Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Right now, we're going to send it back over to our main studios for the news, and I'll be back in 7. Oh, boy. Hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you and helping you get ready for wintertime driving, along with some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Don't forget Merry Christmas wishes from Senator Kelly Anthon, Speaker of the House Scott Bedke, and Representative Fred Wood. All 3 of these gentlemen work diligently to serve their constituents here in the state of Idaho, and they wish you and your families a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous Happy New Year. Senator Kelly Anthon, Speaker of the House Scott Bedke, and Representative Fred Wood. Along with the Burley Area Merchants Association, don't forget, come in and find Bella the Elf in 25 area stores. When you find Bella, you'll be able to put your name in a box box for the store's weekly drawing, and all entries will be gathered to be drawn for $100 of cash-in coupons for shopping and additional prizes. Thank you to the Burley Area Merchants Association, BAMA, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. In just a few moments, we're going to have our next segment on the air, Cassia County School Days. Before we do that, I'd like to remind you, of course, about what's going to happen next Thursday. We're going to be over at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, at 611 North Overland in Burley for the Denny's Annual Christmas Party. Come on by. Going to be a lot of fun. Door prizes. Santa Claus is going to be there. The choirs are going to sing, and we're going to have the registration. You can do the registration right now. Just stop into Denny's at 611 Overland, have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, sign the receipt with your telephone number also, and put it in the big box up by the cash register, and you might win a great big huge beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner from Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Jeff and the crew really are in the Christmas spirit, and they've helped us with this great big promotion of giving away a beautiful men's recliner at the Denny's Annual Christmas Party this next Thursday the 14th. Don't miss it. Get into Denny's and register, America's Diner, and win a beautiful, possibly recliner from Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Absolutely. Right now, we're going to go to our next segment, and that, of course, is Cassia County School Days, and we want to thank both of the sponsors of that show and that segment, and, of course, Child's World at 1308 Overland and Burley, with all the winter dresses and the games and the stuffed animals and the toys, and come shop at a store that really is for the family. Stop in and see them today. A Child's World wishing you a Merry Christmas at 1308 Overland in Burley. And don't forget, too, the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. And the number to call to find out more about the outpatient surgeries that can save you money, 677-8888. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you, right now, School Days in Cassia County. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and we have the safety coordinator for the Cassia County School District, and I hope I say her name right, or she's going to probably want to box my ears back. Gail Gallagher, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Did I say that right?
Well, almost.
What's almost?
Gallagher.
Gallagher. Okay, I've got to put the emphasis on the middle portion, Gallagher, right?
Yes, that's right.
I stand corrected, and I certainly did not want to say your name wrong. I apologize.
Oh, that's fine.
What do you do as the safety coordinator for the Cassia County School District?
Well, as the safety coordinator, of course, our first goal is that all of our children in our district receive a good, rounded education as they go out into the world. But safety is our priority, that all students and all staff are safe while they're at school. So we have several teams that we've developed in the school district. We have an emergency operations team that we develop different plans of what to do with specific emergencies. We have a threat assessment team that we look at different threats as they come in to our students, and we take all of those threats very seriously as we investigate them. We have a medical emergency response team at each school that is comprised of 5 individuals at the school that have been trained to respond to a medical emergency until paramedics arrive.
Mm-hmm. And what else?
All of our staff have been trained, so every staff member knows how to use. We have an AED machine in every single school building, so every staff member knows how to operate an AED machine. We have EpiPens in every school, so if a student would have an allergic reaction, supposedly like to a bee sting,
right,
we can administer that EpiPen. All of our administrators have been FEMA trained, so if there is an incident, they know how to respond with incident command.
Okay, now let me interrupt you right here, Gail, and pardon my interruption, but I want to ask questions as we go along. And over at the station, we're getting a little feedback here. Wheels, if you would, please. The emergency operations team. Oh, my goodness. Now, that has kind of an ominous-sounding connotation to it. Emergency operations team. Who is on the team, and for what kind of emergencies? Kind of lay it out and spell it out a little bit, if you would, please.
That team is comprised of myself, our school nurse, our food service coordinator, our fiscal manager, and our assistant superintendent. We went last August to a FEMA training in Maryland, and so then in conjunction with the sheriff's department and with the police department, and we had a representative from each of those areas go with us, we have a very comprehensive emergency operations plan. It covers everything from a flood, a fire, an active shooter, a potential suicide, any of those kinds of things. We have a plan that we'll follow on what to do in case of that emergency.
Okay, but Gail, how are they notified? I'm assuming that somehow there's got to be a notification or a communication system so that the people that are on this team, they know where to go, what to do, how to get started, all this. Explain that to me a little bit.
Okay, all right. We just recently, in conjunction with the state, we have purchased a radio system that we have radios, handheld radios in every school, in the district office. So I have a radio on my desk. If there's an emergency at Raft River, I'm notified via radio, and then we reach out to our team to come together and decide what needs to be done.
Okay. Now, what about threat assessment team? Do you sit down and case by case look at and listen and study maybe a potential threat of a student against the student or a student against the school or a student against the teacher? I mean, this would take a lot of time and effort. How are these people picked to do this?
Well, again, we have a team that comprises of we have a couple of principals. I sit on that team, our assistant superintendent, and then we have people from the community. We have mental health, we have the sheriff's department, and we have juvenile detention that sit on that team with us.
Okay.
So how this works is we can either receive a verbal threat or maybe a teacher notices a student acting a little bit differently. If you go onto our website, onto casuschools.org, and you go to school safety, we have a link there that's called Safe Schools Alert. Students, community members, anybody can put in a tip, either via phone, text, email, or on the web. That comes to our team. We get that notice that there's been a threat, and it can be submitted anonymously, or they can put their name and telephone number in case we need more information. That information comes to our threat assessment team. We immediately meet, and first of all, we decide, is the threat really a threat? Is it credentialable? Then, if it is, we, of course, are going to involve law enforcement, and we're going to study that threat and decide what needs to be done. If it's something that we're going to turn over to law enforcement, we'll turn it directly over to law enforcement, who works really hand in hand with us, and they're on the spot to help us out.
You know, Gail, let me ask you this, and again, I'm not trying to invoke any worry of anybody, but when you say credible threats, who ascertains, or is it a groupthink type process, what's credible and what isn't?
It's a group. It's definitely a group coming together, and all different eyes looking at it. We interview. We've had situations where we've had a threat, and the police and the principal may be at a student's door on a Sunday morning deciding if it is a credible threat or not.
Wow. Now,
lots of interviews with teachers, interview with the students, interview with parents.
Yeah. Things, unfortunately, when I use the word things, times and different occasions and the implementation of these occasions, it's really changed. How do you, as a administrator of one of the biggest districts in the state of Idaho, how do you keep up on all this information of always changing threats, if you will?
Our team attends numerous trainings. Boise State University puts on an excellent threat assessment conference. We're a member of the Association of Threat Assessment Professionals. 3 of us just attended a week-long conference in California in August, and we're constantly receiving training on what the new threats are, on how we identify those threats, and how we put together our threat assessment team. We also we follow the Salem-Kaiser threat assessment protocol, which is out of Oregon, and we've had a team member go to Oregon and actually meet with them and go through it and come back and train us.
So all the administrators have been FEMA trained, and in this area, I will say that we're very, very fortunate. We don't have the floods like they did down in New Orleans, and thank the good Lord above, we haven't had these serious fires that are going through California right now. So we've been blessed with location, I think. But what are some of the FEMA-trained attitudes and different circumstances that you're trained for here in this area?
FEMA would cover, like when we had floods last spring, would cover that. If we had a chemical spill or a hazardous spill, FEMA would also cover an active shooter in the school.
Okay. And I pray to God that doesn't happen anywhere close to this area or, for that matter, anywhere else. But safety, I had no idea. And you've really helped me a lot get a clearer scope of what's going on. It sounds to me like safety, that one word alone, it branches out like a spider web into so many different areas.
It absolutely does. It branches out from student safety with active shooters to maybe a chemical spill in the school or a gas leak or a tornado or severe weather.
What about the teachers themselves or the administrators that are involved in this? I mean, they must have to take a lot of their spare time to learn and be accredited for this, don't they?
They do. For example, our medical emergency response team, all of those teachers and people that are on that team were trained during the summer. So, yes, they give up a lot of their free time to come in and be trained.
Well, you are a very nice lady, and I've learned a lot from talking to you, and it just proves to me even more that Cassia County School District is right on top of everything. Gail, thank you so much for being a part of my show this morning.
Thank you very much for having us.
I absolutely enjoyed it. Now, I'm going to say your name. Stay on the air with me for a minute. I'm going to try it one more time. I can't mess it up. Gail Galegas.
Perfect.
You made my day. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
All right, thank you. Very nice lady right there with the Cassia County School District, and I appreciate her being on talking about the many, many ways that the district, and they're ready for problems, safety issues. It really shows you how good they're doing at the school system for you, the family, and your children. Absolutely. Okay, got to pay some bills. The Bennett boys are going to have a big sale coming up this Saturday. Let's take a look here. It's going to be the Kenny and Shan Blick auction, and they're going to bring the gavel down and start selling at 11 o'clock, and it's going to be located at 4022 North, 1100 East of Buell, and it's this Saturday at 11 a.m. Oh, yeah, horse trailers, pickups, farm equipment, all kinds of goodies for you, sold by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys can sell them all. Call my buddy Joe Bennett at 539-0111. Big sale on Saturday put on by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Okay, now let's also tell you about a great place. I got a whole bunch of goodies right here to talk about from Sportsman's Warehouse. Oh, Oh, my. They've got a Garmin GPS map. Oh, my goodness. And sale priced right now. You better get in and check that out. They've got Badlands Super Day Packs, 50% off. They've got all kinds of different clothing. Sportsman's Warehouse in Twin Falls is one of my very favorite stores to go shopping. And that's Sportsman's Warehouse at 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin. It is the place for everyone on your list. And the neat thing about Sportsman's Warehouse is that they've got experts that really know and understand in every department. You will love shopping at Sportsman's Warehouse. Reese and the staff, they do a great job, and they wish you a very Merry Christmas. Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview in Twin Falls. You stop in and see them today. Really good folks. Oh, and by the way, a Merry Christmas wish from our senator. I like this guy. He does a tremendous job serving his constituents, always with a smile on his face and ready to help and serve, and that's Senator Kelly Anthon. And on behalf of his family to your family, Senator Kelly Anthon would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and he looks forward to serving you in the future in 2018. There you go. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line. It is just a continuous cycle of information here on a Thursday, and we're going to be talking to Jamie over at Dino's Septic Service. Good morning, Jamie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Have you ever been on the radio before, Jamie?
No, I haven't. Not like this.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Atta girl, you answered all the questions correctly. You know, I have been bragging about your service, Dino Septic Service, and I've told people on my radio program, perhaps you've heard the ads, that you do the job that a lot of people don't want to mess with. Tell us about some of the great things and services you provide that I don't want to do.
Well, we pump and install septic tanks and septic systems, so drain fields and main sewer lines, and we also clean lines. We pump like pits for companies and just stuff like that. We also do excavation work as well.
Boy, tell us a little bit about the company itself, Dino Septic Service. How long have you been in business, and give us the locations and everything as to where you're located.
We're located here in Rupert. It's been family-owned and operated and run for, I think, 40 years now. My grandparents owned it. They started it, and then my parents bought it from them, and it's just a good family company.
Well, I tell you what, and you've got phone numbers for Rupert that include 436-6526, and in Burley, 678-1638, and in Twin Falls, 735-8281. I can attest to the fact that you provide the best of fast, fair, friendly service, and I was really enthralled, I guess, when I saw that big truck pull in my yard. Smells cargo on the way. Where did you come up with that?
Ken came up with that. He just wanted to have something that kind of stuck out on the side of that truck that people would remember.
You know, I don't know what behooves people to get into the septic and drain field business, but everybody I've talked to after I put your ad on the air, there's been a lot of people come forward and say, well, we've used those. They're the best, and those folks are really good. So I guess you've got quite a good reputation, and I can attest to the fact that when the fellow was here that served me, Dino Septic Service, wow, you do a job that I don't want to do.
Yeah, we do. It's a job not many people want to do, but it has to be done.
If somebody has a problem and they've got a real backup with their septic system and that, what do they do? What's the best way? Just call you, or do you have a number that in the off hours they can get a hold of you? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, just give us a call at that 208-436-6526. And it'll generally be me answering the phone, and they can call it at any time.
Well, I tell you what, you did a great job being on the program this morning with a little extra for Dino Septic Service in Rupert, Burley, and Twin Falls with that great big truck that says smells cargo on the way. Jamie, Merry Christmas to you and the whole crew, and come back and talk to us again.
Thanks so much, Zeb. Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thank you. Great folks over there at Dino Septic Service with Jamie and the whole crew. And like I said, when that truck pulled in the yard that day, right on the side door, it says, "Smells Cargo on the way." Dino Septic Service, they are the best. Yep. Okay, now let's take a look here. We got some more Merry Christmas wishes I need to get on before the bottom of the hour. And one, of course, from our dear friend, Speaker of the House and Representative Scott Bedke. You know, here's a guy, he's been a good friend of mine for, 30, 40 years. And a rancher that understands the land, he understands the state of Idaho, and he understands the folks that live here. And he really enjoys serving you. Representative and Speaker of the House Scott Bedke and his family wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. And the same can be said for Representative Fred Wood. Fred has been so helpful and diligent to help me on this program, especially when we had those Monday morning chats about what's going on during the legislative session every January. I really appreciate his effort. He cares about Idaho. He cares about you. And Fred Wood wants to say to you and yours, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Representative Fred Wood. Thank you very much. Oh, I've got time for a phone call or two. Give me a jingle on the landline. Love to visit with you. And don't forget again, we're going to be over at Denny's next Thursday, a week from today, for the big annual Christmas party. It's going to run from 8 to 11, the hours of this program. And we're going to have door prizes, and we're going to have Santa Claus there, and we're going to have all kinds of goodies. And register for that beautiful Flex Steel men's recliner being provided to us by Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Thank you, Jeff. Man, I'll tell you, go in there to Denny's restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, and sign your receipt, put the telephone number on it, and boy, next Thursday you might be the lucky winner of that Flex Steel men's recliner. Thank you to Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, and Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More for helping provide a big Merry Christmas party. Now we're going to send it back over to our main studio. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh my, it has been a busy day, and welcome to the last half hour, Zeb at the Ranch, and I'm very honored to have this gentleman on my program again. I had him on my show, I think about 3, 4, 5 months ago, and he is the president and CEO of Job Creators Network. He's going to tell us again what all that means. Good morning, Alfredo Ortiz. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. How are you doing? I'm doing great. I hope you are as well.
I am, and right up front, I'll wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
And a Merry Christmas to you. I hope you have a great one and a blessed New Year.
What exactly is, and we talked about this the last time, Job Creators Network? What do you do? What do you do when you get to your office every day, and how does it keep you busy?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. So Job Creators Network was actually an organization founded by Bernie Marcus. Make sure people understand, not Bernie Sanders, Bernie Marcus, the guy who actually believes in free enterprise. Started the Home Depot with only 2 stores in Atlanta. And a funny story on Bernie, and maybe some of your listeners might remember this, but at 48, Bernie was actually fired from his job, and at 52, he started Home Depot, again, with those 2 stores in Atlanta. And today, they employ 400,000 people, hardworking Americans in this country.
Wow.
One of our great American dream stories, success stories. But, you know, the one thing that Bernie remembered all too well was what it was like to be a small business owner, literally going from payroll to payroll, wondering how he was going to meet those payrolls. And he determined that under the former administration, over-regulation, over-taxation, the lack of access to capital and credit was really keeping our small businesses from thriving, which, as you know, and many of your listeners know, 2/3 of new job growth is in the hands of these small business owners. And they were being kept from succeeding, I think, in the previous administration. And we're happy to be fighting for those small business owners, and especially on this tax cut fight. where you've got these 29 million small businesses needing a break, and after 31 years, I think they're finally going to get it.
I think you almost answered in its entirety the question I was going to ask, Alfredo, and that is your thoughts about the Trump administration and what they're doing with this tax reform and tax cut program. The Democrats are hailing it as Armageddon. It's going to be the worst thing that ever happened to America. I've read most of it, and quite frankly, I see the opposite. What are your thoughts?
You know, you're absolutely correct, and really they should be ashamed of themselves, because at this point they're just basically throwing out lies at this point just to try to make this thing not happen. And really, again, they should be ashamed of themselves, because they are doing this really on the backs of the potential benefits of what's going to help all of America. Again, I mentioned 29 million small businesses after 31 years have not had a break. They need that break. But more importantly, they employ 56 million people in this country. So you've got 85 million hardworking Americans that are struggling, right, or struggled under the previous administration, and now have an opportunity to actually succeed and to grow their businesses. I mean, that's the one thing we've seen the regulations already. What Trump has done, President Trump has already done there. From that perspective, really freed up, I think, basically for every regulation that they're looking to introduce. I think they're taking off now 16 off the table. I mean, that's huge. They're seeing that impact already. But the tax cut impact is going to be huge. I mean, bringing down these tax rates for our small business owners is the biggest thing that we can be doing to really turbocharge our economy. Right now, I think they're anticipating in the tax bill something like a 1.8, 1.9%. I mean, for goodness sakes, we're already seeing 2 quarters of over 3%. I mean, and this isn't even with a tax cut in place. Imagine when this tax cut's hit, we're going to see these 3.5%, 4% growth rates, and we are all going to be very, very happy.
Let me ask you this question, and I know it's kind of in retro hindsight, but when you compare from, let's say, 2007 with the voting in of Barack Obama, and then the 8 years of negativity, and quite frankly, as a small business owner, the 8 years of Obama were absolutely disgusting, disturbing, and gut-wrenching. And now the transition to the Trump campaign and administration, what about the small business owners in America? They must feel like they've been on one heck of a roller coaster ride.
Boy, they have. You know, last year we actually started what was called the Bring Small Business Back campaign. So we've been, focused on this since last year. We've traveled now, including our current TaxCutsNow.com campaign. We've traveled about 17,000 miles across this country. We've hit about 20 different states, 30 different stops, 8 different governors, dozens of different congressmen at this point. But most importantly, we have spoken to hundreds and hundreds of small business owners. And we're talking Democrats, Republicans, Independents. There are no party lines when it comes to, running your business. They all say that they were being crushed under overregulation, overtaxation, and lack of access to capital and credit. Those are the 3 things that were killing them. Overtaxation was the number one thing. Because when you don't have those dollars to invest back in your business like you want to, you can't do anything about it. You're stuck. I was a small business owner myself, and I remember when I woke up that first day, I had that dream that I wanted to start my business, and I woke up, I realized, oh my goodness, there's no paycheck coming to me unless I'm out there hustling every single day to try to bring business in.
Right.
And I actually thought I'd be really smart, and I hired 2 people. So then I also had to worry about their funds, right, and the payroll. Every 2 weeks, that Thursday, before noon, I had sweat down my wondering how am I going to actually fund that payroll. And this story is repeated over and over, millions of times over with small business owners, and they're feeling relief, they're feeling enthusiasm finally that there's an actual administration that hears them, that listens to them, that actually understands what it's like to sign the front of the check.
Alfredo, I don't want to get off the rails here, but you're so articulate and so good at explaining things. Answer this question for me, and I'm sure you've been asked it before. We are in a position right now in this country where unemployment is way, way down. But therein lies another problem, because we still have employment problems because of a lack of work ethic by a large share of the population. They don't want to work because they're getting too many freebies staying at home. How do we re-employ, if you will, and reinstill a work ethic so we can solve a lot of the employment problems?
Well, you bring up actually an excellent point, and that's one of the biggest things that's going to hit us very, very quickly here. When we start seeing these kinds of growth rates, we're going to really start seeing an issue with qualified labor forces, right? Qualified skill sets. And some of this, frankly, isn't really the fault of the people out there. In some cases, you almost can't blame them because it's the government, the welfare government that's been set up, the system that's been set up that's almost provides a disincentive for people to get off of welfare rolls, right? In some cases, I mean, I've heard this. I was speaking at a conference over the weekend, in fact, and I had several small business owners come up to me that were in the HVAC industry that said, look, you know, we try to hire people, but then when we go out there, we're like, look, can you do this under the table? Because if we actually get paid by you and we have to record this, we're going to lose our benefits, right?
Oh,
I mean, there's disincentives that are built into our system right now, in our welfare system, that are actually keeping people from working. We need to address that through welfare reform and figure out a way that we can get people that are actually not being disincented to get back to work, because we're going to need to get, you know, skilled labor force out there. And that does bring up one more quick thing. We do have to make sure that we are educating Americans on the right skill sets. This Fight for 15, for example, is such a disservice to a lot of hardworking Americans, because all that it's doing really, and the left is really pushing this, is getting people an extra 50 cents or a buck for still flipping burgers. Well, guess what? If you're 25 and over, and you're flipping burgers for minimum wage, and you get an extra buck, that's not going to do anything to help you jettison yourself out of a just job and into careers. There are jobs out there that pay $50,000 per year right now that barely even need a little bit more than a high school career. In fact, there are over 3 million of these jobs that pay $50,000 per year, have on-the-job training, full benefits, and they can't be filled because the right skill sets aren't out there. Let's get the folks the skills that they need to really get these great jobs, these great careers, actually, and don't worry about these hourly wages. That's going to fix itself out through just economic growth alone.
You know, and Alfredo, one other point to what you're talking about, and I want to hear your response on this. A lot of the blame for what's going on with the minimum wage workers demanding $15 an hour or even more, it goes back, I think, to the high schools and our education system, because we've been pushing college, pushing this university, pushing you got to go here to higher education. And I, for years, have said, wait a minute, stop this garbage. We've got a lot of great trade schools. We're losing our electricians. We're losing our plumbers. We need people in the trades, and I'll tell you what, we need qualified people. They need to start pushing the excellent trade schools that are in this United States.
Amen. You couldn't have said it better. You know, the average, this is a scary fact, these 4-year universities are really now becoming 6-year universities, because they're telling them, oh, don't worry, enjoy yourself, learn at your own pace. Well, goodness, they've just found a great way of actually increasing the revenues, right, by 50% by going from 4 years to 6 years. And so, you know, we've got like $1.3 trillion, I think, is the last number I've seen, of student debt out there. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is a major issue. And to your point, we need people that can actually have those skills. And in many cases, these people that are being forced to go to college don't want to go to college, right? They believe that there's no other course for them. We need to really push on apprenticeships. You know, a program just launched a couple of weeks ago at the Department of Labor, which is a great apprenticeship program. You know, Alex Acosta, Labor Secretary, is doing a fantastic job, you know, really starting that. But we need to get that out there. We need people to be aware of that, because, again, those skills are so desperately needed. And, again, these are, like, for example, HVAC technician jobs that just need a high school degree, that have on-the-job training, that are paying over $50,000 per year. Imagine that, a high school graduate coming out with no debt, being able to walk into a job that pays over $50,000 per year.
Are we doing enough?
But we need to do more on apprenticeships.
Yeah, are we doing enough, Alfredo, in the school systems for, let's say, the career days, to sit down and really have guidance counselors that know what they're talking about and say, listen, what do you like to do? Well, I like to do this, that, and the other. Have you ever thought about owning or starting your own business? Well, yeah, but I don't know how. Do you think we're doing enough in education to let these kids in high school and college know that they can achieve anything they want if they try, and if they want to start a business, give them the seeds that will grow and show them how they can be successful?
Yeah, that's a huge area of opportunity, and unfortunately, we really are not doing a good job of that. I think we need to start, you know, even before high school, in some cases, helping people understand what the free enterprise system really is. I mean, you know, unfortunately, over the past 8 years, you know, under the previous administration, they were so busy demagoguing, you know, the free enterprise system, that has, you know, kind of become, you know, this understanding that the free enterprise system is bad. Well, the free enterprise system is what made this country great. Unfortunately, we do have a president and administration that understands that the free enterprise system is what's going to turbocharge our entire economy, and it's going to help on so many different fronts. But we do have to start all the way back, I think, to junior highs and help people understand, what it actually means, right, to own a job, to have a job, to own a business, right, work ethic, all those different pieces. And I applaud. There's some private industry efforts out there, for example, in North Carolina, that I've seen some great efforts that are actually public-private type joint partnerships that are working on these apprenticeship programs back in the high schools. That's what we need to be doing. If people want to go to college, great, but don't make it seem as though you're not a success if you don't go to college. That's the biggest disservice we're doing to our youth today, and frankly, to our entire economy.
I could not agree more. Now, I noticed in the cheat sheet that I have that you have absolutely discussed the tax cuts and everything with President Trump at the White House. Can you mind, or would you mind, giving us a little insight as to what the man is really like from when you met him and talked to him?
I think he, the president is honestly interested in one thing, which is really helping this country to become a great success again. And, he's just a genuine person. Sitting there talking to him, he just felt like it's just a normal Joe, to be quite honest. But he gets it. He understands that at the end here, business really and free enterprise can really fix so many of our issues in this country. We don't really talk on many of the social issues. We really focus on the economic front. But it's wonderful being able to actually talk to somebody at the very top that understands what it's like to sign the front of a check and what it means to actually, help the economy and help our businesses. I think if many of our, Democrat senators and frankly Democrat representatives actually worked, and actually started their own businesses, many of them never have signed the front of a check, don't understand what it's like, I think we'd be in a very, very different world. So again, I'm thankful that the president is there because he does understand what it takes to get this economy going, and I think really understands a lot of the challenges that especially our small business owners have been facing.
Let me ask you one final thought, Alfredo. On behalf of you being the president and CEO of Job Creators Network, what would you wish for from this day forward for the rest of the tenure of the Trump administration to help make the economy even stronger? What would your wish be for this Christmas season to see on the horizon for jobs here in this country?
Well, obviously, passage of the bill and signature by the president. We're calling for that to happen by Christmas Eve. I said December 24th as the date, so it sounds like it may be December 22nd. I'm happy with that, but definitely getting that tax bill done and signed by the president in place so that when Americans wake up on January 1st, it's a new world for not only individuals, but all of our businesses, small, medium, large, across the country. But then even beyond that, we need to make sure that we articulate and that people talk about how these taxes are benefiting them. Because unfortunately, that's one thing we just don't do enough. Once we actually succeed on something, we just we do our victory lap and then we go away. We've got to remind the American public that these tax cuts are going to help them and how they're helping them and bring these stories out to light. And that's my wish, that for the next couple of years at least, we hammer away at that and we continue to get these stories out there about how these tax cuts are really helping all of America.
You are welcome on this program anytime. President and CEO of Job Creators Network, Mr. Alfredo Ortiz, God bless you and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Ed. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Thank you. Sharp guy. Really a sharp guy. And I just feel optimistic after talking to people like that. I feel like, wow, we can do more even at my old age. We can do more and achieve more. All you got to do is try. There you go. Alfredo Ortiz, I'm going to put his name to have him back after the first of the year so we can discuss more things. Good guy. Really good. Got to get the weather on here right now. And the weather. And then I'd like some phone call. Ouch, I just stuck the staple right through my thumb. Did you ever staple something through the papers? I had about 6 papers here. And no, dipstick me, I put it in my thumb instead of the paper. Not good, Zeb. Not good. Anyhow, Scarrows Meats. Forget my little personal injury. Scarrows Meats with Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Oh, my goodness sakes, the number to call, 324-7657. I just happen to think it's a good thing I didn't yell like I normally do. Anyway, you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com, and check out all the delicious retail meats in their retail meat department. Wow. I mean, like marinated prime rib. Melt in your mouth, delicious. And this, smoked hams and the smoked turkeys and all the breakfast sausages and the bratwurst and the bacons. Oh, my. It's great. It is fantastic. Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
You know, I'm seriously beginning to wonder if we're ever going to see some snow so we can have a white Christmas. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch this morning. Patchy morning fog before noon. If you're out there, you might want to make sure you have your window scraper because your windows are going to be a little bit frosty. Other than that, sunny skies, high of 35 for today. Tonight, patchy fog after midnight. Otherwise, mostly clear with a low of 18 tomorrow. Patchy fog before noon, sunny skies after that, high of 38. Looks like mostly clear skies for Friday night with a low of 15. Saturday, mostly sunny, high near 40. Same for Sunday. Monday, sunny and 41, and maybe mid-40s for Tuesday. Never know. The weather could change, but that is your weather for us up at the ranch.
Thank you very much. I got to turn the microphone on. Thank you, Gina. Excellent job. Appreciate you. And, of course, the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats. Hello, Don Scarrow. I got to invite him over. I think I'll invite him over to be on my program, and then I'll say, oh, by the way, Don, you want to bring some of that marinated prime rib? Just a suggestion. It's delicious. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and they are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. Scarrows Meats. I've got a note here while I'm waiting for some phone calls to come in. I want to get this in one more time this week because it's going to take place next Monday. The American Falls Community Choir, directed by Dan Bowman and accompanied by David Bowman, will be presenting their annual Christmas concert at the Rupert United Methodist Church at 605 H Street next Monday, December 11th at 7:30 p.m. Now, this is going to be a community event, and bring your whole family, your friends. Light refreshments will be served, and a love offering. It's going to be a lot of fun and very enjoyable for Christmas time. And for more information, call the church office at 436-3354. Got you covered. Okay, let's see what else we got. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call, I'm going to tell you, like Gina said during the weather, she kind of wonders where winter is. Well, to be honest with you, I don't really care. Being on crutches, I don't want the snow. I don't want the ice, except up in the hills, not here. But the Les Schwab Tire Centers, all the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, are getting you ready for wintertime driving because you know it's going to come. You know it's going to be here. And they've got everything you need, all the different tread designs, all the different tires to get you through the snow and the muck and the yuck and the ice and, oh, brother. And all the tire chains. My goodness sakes, don't wait. Don't wait until it's almost too late. You better get in there today because doing the right thing matters. And they always do the right thing to help you with the best in service. Front-end alignments, shocks and struts, batteries. Oh, my goodness, the best in batteries. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert. Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. Doing the right thing matters always for you at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see them today. Whew! Wheels, we made it through another week.
I know, thank gosh. It's just crazy to think that Christmas is just a couple weeks away.
Now, have you started your Christmas shopping? Be honest.
Yeah, I already got my Christmas shopping done, to be honest.
You do?
I do.
Well, my goodness sakes, you are further ahead than I am. On this program, if you're going to stay connected to it, it's almost a rule that you do not shop until December 24th.
You know, that's very true, but I'm one of those people that is not too fond of crowds.
Oh.
So, it's always nice to get in before everybody else.
I could not agree with you more. The hustle and the bustle and the mom trying to drag 3 kids through the aisles, and the last one on that line is always kind of whipsawed right into you or whatever. Oh, I agree with you. I got to go get it done. Thanks, you're my incentive. I'm going to start shopping today.
That's good. I'm glad I could be your incentive. I think some people, they kind of wait till the last minute, but
yeah.
I think it's always good to get it done as soon as possible.
What is your favorite part of Christmas time? Is it the lights? Is it the caroling? What is it?
Well, the 6-year-old me would say it's the lights.
Okay.
The 23-year-old me would say it's my family.
That's a good answer. I like that. I like the whole package, man. I am one of these guys that never will give up on saying Merry Christmas. We're going to wrap things up for this week. Old Wheels over at our main studio. We wish you to have a good weekend. And we're going to be back here next Monday at 8:06 with more Christmas wishes and a lot of interesting people. So don't miss it. Monday's program, we've got Richard Manning, and we've got Kerry Lutz, and we've got Michael Doherty, and we've got Frosty Woldrich. Holy smokes, a whole crew of great people coming on the air. And enjoy yourself. Be a part of Christmas. Be a part of the lights. Be a part of the shopping. Be a part of just wishing people in a very big, cheerful voice, Merry Christmas. We'll see you Monday at 8:06, Zeb at the Ranch, where we always say, the way things were are the way things ought to be.